Good morning. Thank you very much. I want to talk in the 10 minutes, I still for time to close the session, about what is the legal basis for the rollout, where we are, and what kind of actions we are preparing to complete the exercise. European authorities, where we are. Well, the first thing is about what are the drivers for smart grid. We always say that the smart grid are not the goal per se. It's important, the smart grid, because it's fitting and providing some services and supporting for our policy. This is why we're putting attention there, and this is why also it's included in the internal market package. I would say that, well, you know the 2020, but in transition toward the low-carbon economy. This is supporting the integration of renewable energies and also the distributed energy resources. That's important for our system, and that's linked with the second, to guarantee high security. This is one of the big priorities, security of supply. Let's say without security of supply, there are no right market, and the discussion we are going to do is, let's say, sterile. Quality and economy efficiency of supply in a market environment. That's the full entry into the European internal market, the third package. And also, and this is quite important, and we're making some, insisting in this message during these days, we want to pass from consumer protection, which is normal in any market. Every market is protecting its customer. For consumer protection, as say my previous speaker from BEUC, Monica, to the consumer empowerment. What does it mean, consumer empowerment or active consumer? We can say in three basic wording. First is to inform and engage the consumer. Second, provide the choice. And that's very important. Provide the choice, but also the possibility to exercise the choice. Not only that, if you have a contract, we do like that for you, this is the typical demand-side management, it's fine, but the consumer have to get to exercise their choice itself by a third party, delegated by the consumer, or in an automatic system provided by the technology we have already available. And finally, integrated on this energy system that the consumer can also produce energy. And that's important, not only for demand response, but also because we are thinking on aggregators and virtual power plant and microgrid, and those other possibilities or other ways we have to compete. Demand response have to compete with a virtual power plant and have to compete with microgrid, because this is the way to really engage and produce more competitiveness in the retail market. What is the base on the legal base for the rollout? Just enter into that. You know very well, but I want to remind a few things. The first, that there are two obligations in the directive. One is that member states have to ensure the implementation of intelligent metering system. I just put the text as we have in the directive. And that means on the way, with the philosophy to assist the active participation of consumer in the electricity supply market. It's not just to say, I'm going to put something which produce demand response or produce aggregator. No, it's to assist the active participation of consumer. We have some cases, for instance, in Czech Republic, they have a good things, they have a very good engineering, let's say, technical solution for the system. We provide good efficiency to run the system, but doesn't involve the active participation of consumer. That's important to know. The second, of course, this decision is going to be subject to an economic assessment, where a member state could decide to do directly by a decree, a political decision, or based on economic assessment. We will see later some of the countries decide to go ahead with the rollout of smart meter. Some of the countries decide to make a cost-benefit analysis. In that case, this economic assessment in the long term have to be ready by September 3rd of this year. I mean, almost one and a half months ago. Another obligation also is that member states shall prepare a timetable of a target up to 10 years. And this is for electricity and for gas. All these two obligations are for electricity and gas. For a case of electricity, this is the last point. In case you have the cost-benefit analysis is positive, we will expect that the member state, this plan is going to be at least covering 80% of those consumers who has been assessed positively by 2020, only for electricity. Just to, I mean, to explain this, the legal basis. What we have done, because of this legal basis, sometimes, well, we made also an interpretative note for that, because it's a little bit unclear, 80% of 2020 for gas, one thing, for electricity, another, what the cost-benefit analysis, etc. We had produced these recommendations, was issued on the 9th of March of this year, was published in the European Journal, and at the same time we had developed this methodology, we are proposing this methodology for the cost-benefit analysis. The methodology was done in cooperation with the DOE in the United States and EPRI in the United States. Basically, we have used very much of what EPRI already did around 2010, with an adaptation to the European circumstances and also adaptation to our policies. Still, it's quite critical for this methodology to set up the local conditions. And this is something, it's the first step in such cost-benefit analysis. Later, we propose about 30 or 33 formula with about 40 parameters, taking into account flexibility, integration of renewables, even also climate parameters and environment issues and methodologies to let's say, quantify benefit for the environment point of view. At the end, also, we made a dry test of this cost-benefit analysis methodology with one particular project, the one in Évora, in the InnoGrid in Portugal, done by EDP. They provide us, let's say, confidential data, and we, let's say, turn a little bit some of the parameters in order to adapt more to the reality. Together with this cost-benefit analysis in our recommendation, we had also included the privacy and security recommendation, because, as Monica said already, the privacy is one of the concerns for consumers, and we do believe we have to make an answer to this concern. The Commission is supporting privacy by design and privacy by default. I don't want to jeopardize privacy because of the rollout of a smart meter, that's clear. So that the first point is the Commission in this recommendation commit itself to produce impact assessment, a privacy impact assessment template after 12 months of this publication. And we're working to get such a template by February next year. Again, will be in a formal recommendation, will be published in the European Journal. Some other things like data protection, security, some recommendations regarding information and transparency, all of them are about 30 articles into this, 13 articles into these recommendations, providing this one by one all these principles, like minimization of data, minimize the time these data have to be stored, etc., and provide transparency, how the data are going to process, etc. That's really very important for all the national privacy authorities, which is like a guidelines, a recommendation for all Europe. And last but not least, also we enter into the functionalities for a smart meter. And that was an exercise we made with about 1 year ago, when about 11 member states already started thinking about functionalities for a smart meter. Therefore, we took the common minimum, or all of them, consulting them during about 3 or 4 months, took the exercise and came up with this kind of about 12 or 13 functionalities, classified in these 5 big families, which are mainly benefiting all of them. The first, and that's very important, is for consumer. What we recommend that a smart meter, one of the functionalities, should provide reading directly to the consumer or a third party assigned by the consumer. That's important for demand response or other services taken by third parties. I mean, we don't want a smart meter just for billing. We do believe this is a waste of money. Therefore, all these functionalities, which in fact are being adopted in many member states so far, are like a set of functionalities we recommend for member states when preparing the rollout. Update reading frequently enough. We say frequently enough, but in fact many of the member states are taking about 15 minutes reading. That's important. Other function for metering operators, for the security and protection, or for the provide import and export and reactive metering. That's also important in order to make the further step toward a smart grid. Where we are. We made our recommendation in February with the spirit to assist member states in preparing cost-benefit analysis, and we are receiving already notification regarding this cost-benefit analysis. Frankly speaking, we have sometimes some problem regarding the translations of the cost-benefit analysis because are done in national languages and not, we are not dominating all of them. But some of the, I mean, I put here some examples how member states are taking these 10 years planning for electricity case. I mean, for gas will be much more or less, but for electricity, you see that Sweden, Italy, Spain, France, UK, or Great Britain is already defined these things. That large countries, also Poland, also had defined this. I mean, this is a result of the cost-benefit analysis. Some of them are under discussion on the national parliament and are not being approved and so on. But this is just preliminary result where the situation is so far. Other countries are notifying there, and also, I mean, putting 27 flag will be complicated slide. But anyway, it shows that things are going. By 2020, we're going to get a large rollout in a large number of countries, and this 200 million smart meters metering system installed by 2020 seems to be something possible to achieve. However, not everything is done. However, not everybody agrees with to roll out the smart metering, and this is why we are preparing some actions. What we are doing, as I say, receiving notifications about the plans for the rollout, according with the directive. I mean, just a poor transposition of the directive. We have produced an assessment of the cost-benefit analysis, and we want to compare what each member state has done in the cost-benefit analysis compared with our recommendation methodology. Whether you have taken into account this, on that, on this formula or the other, what are the parameters, how you set up local conditions, etc. That could be an exercise which takes some time. It's not just to receive something in September and produce an output in October. We see that we have to work during some months, and full collaboration with member states is requested already and is essential, and of course member state is collaborating with us in this exercise. We are going to present initial picture, I mean this kind of picture, where we are at the London Forum in November, 13, 14 in November, and we plan to issue a benchmarking or a middle report by middle of the next year. Just to finish, we are proposing to have a revision of the market model, and together with this cost-benefit analysis, see where we are with member states. And this is why we are proposing to set up a working group with member states to exchange lessons learned, why your country, your cost-benefit analysis is so positive, why you are negative, etc., in order to really share this know-how and discuss all these topics on the same table. I think this is the conclusion of my presentation of today. Work is ongoing, and about half a year we will be in position to present a benchmarking what's going on regarding next year on smart metering. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A question for Manuel? I would just say, oh yeah, so one question. You can either shout or you can wait for the microphone. I can repeat it if you can.
Have you received all of the analysis from all the member countries?
Has he received all the analysis from all of the member countries? Yeah.
No. But go back. Probably I forgot to say that in the legal basis, there are no, it's not mentioning an obligation that the member states have to submit cost-benefit analysis. The cost-benefit analysis is a possibility given to member states whether to decide to go ahead and make the 10 years plan. No mention there. However, of course, as administration to administration, we are now requesting those who have not submitted that, what is the status, and if you have done, please give us at least a summary on what are the results. But let's say, I want to explain something, what we think about in this. First, we are limited of resources to starting the analysis. This is clear. And we cannot analyze in one day the 27 cost-benefit analysis. Therefore, if people are sending one day after one day, it's better than not altogether. This is one thing. The second thing is there are no obligation, and therefore we are requesting now the information. And even more, the third thing is whether you make a cost-benefit analysis, there is no guarantee that this is very good or very bad. And also, well, we can make a compare with our methodology whether it's good or bad. But because it's something starting, it's something really new. For many member states, are contracting companies like KEMA to identify, to make the exercise. It's true that there are a lot of room to learn about parameters, expected benefit for the cost, for the benefit or for the cost, and this is something we want to promote. I mean, our philosophy right now is to, of course, collect information of exercise made at home, but at the same time put all this in the same table and facilitate the discussions in order to make a good thing, something where everybody is satisfied with a good resolution and with, let's say, real data. I think that's important rather than starting thinking, well, if you are not submitted or make a cost-benefit analysis, I'm going to give you an infraction tomorrow. This is not today the philosophy, and particularly for the case of Germany. We know Germany is going to provide this result by end of January. They communicated it already, and we say, thank you very much. We are waiting for that, and hopefully you make a good exercise where everybody also can learn.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. I've got loads more questions I'd love to ask you, but we'll wait till the Q&A session. So I think that leads perfectly. Thank you very well. Thank you very, very much. It leads perfectly on to the next presentation, and we're talking about costs and benefits. We heard the very important